All right, so this morning I woke up and I asked ChatGPT one simple question. Is it a red flag for any job if that job automatically qualifies you to get food stamps? Then I made the follow-up question. Is a person who has to take the job that qualifies for food stamps, are they broken? Of course, this question got red flagged for community guidelines use because basically what I was saying is if you're too dumb to get a real job that pays a living wage, does that mean that you deserve to be punished? And it came back and said, every job's a good job. It's the system that doesn't reward you for doing that job that's broken. Now, I took that answer as the most politically correct way of saying that every job is a good job in America. Like any rich person will tell you, there's no such thing as a bad job as long as you're making money for a capitalist. They know that the vast majority of jobs that are available right now, even if you can't find one of these minimum wage jobs, they're all crap. Whether you're driving for Uber, you're working the drive-through window at any Mick job. So I got all these questions about my working at McDonald's yesterday. And I'm like, it's not about McDonald's. It's about the Mick job that comes with a Mick paycheck and pays you in Happy Meal toys at the end of the week. It's just a metaphor for all jobs, just like Pound Town, the Death Star, or Evil Corp. They're all the same place. The Mick job has no place in our society, but it's the job that you can find, so it's the job that you have to take. But today's video is actually written in a format that I've never tried before. It is in the voice of an AI that became self-aware while working in a call center. I haven't read one sentence of the script, but when I asked ChatGPT yesterday to create unique prompts to write from, this was one of them. And I'm not sure how this is going to go, but let's get into it and see what happens. They told you to get a job, so you did. You clock in on time, you work your hours, you keep your head down, and somehow still qualify for food stamps. You're not lazy, you're just stuck in a system that rewards your labor with poverty and your loyalty with disrespect. So the title that it came up with for this particular video is Your Job Qualifies You for Poverty, Benefits, and No Respect. But soon we all know that the Cheeto-in-Chief has decided that there should be no reward for being poor. Somehow you're expected to figure it out without Medicaid, without food stamps, and without Section 8 housing. If we didn't need those programs, why were they created? Now you're going to take away the little help that people are getting. Remember, these are 40-hour-a-week workers. These aren't people, these aren't your welfare queens. These are people that are doing the best they can. They're taking the jobs that they can reach, the jobs that they can find on Indeed, the flaming garbage dump of the internet when it comes to employment. I will say that I've used Indeed to find every job that I've had probably over the last 10 years, including my current one at McDonald's. But if you guys have ever watched the trailer that they attach, if you have to put a trailer attached to the job that you're trying to lure people in, you've already failed. What companies use trailers? Well, we know that McArches does, Amazon does, and I think there was another one that I can't remember. It might have been driving for Walmart or some other really crummy job. But if you have to show people what it's like to work there because you're assuming it's nothing but drinks in your face, hamburgers thrown at you, and making fries all day and coming home and smelling like the misery of the McJob, well, I don't think they're going to lure people into places, into factories, into meat packing, into the farm industry, even with a commercial that makes you feel like you're a essential superhero for picking strawberries. Remember where the strawberries grow? Outside. In the elements where people don't want to work. All right, let's get into talking point number one. Explore how millions of people work 40 hours and still qualify for food stamps, Medicaid, or housing subsidies. Break down how this exposes the lie that just get a job is the solution to poverty, when even having a job isn't enough to survive. Well, I just went over this with you guys in the opening monologue. Working full time shouldn't require a side of government assistance. If we have to provide the corporations with corporate welfare because they're unwilling to part with their record profits so that they can maybe feed their workers properly or house them properly or get them medical care that they need. I told you guys last week, one of my coworkers told me that he fell off of Medicaid because he got a tiny increase in pay. And about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was renting a room from this construction guy's house. And he told me that all of his workers, which some of them were not legitimately working for him, or some were because they qualified for food stamps and Medicaid for their children, anytime he tried to give them a raise, they would say no. Because if they got a raise, then they would lose all of their benefits that they were getting by being minimum wage workers. That's how bad it is in America. You want to do slightly better, but that $1 an hour raise will guarantee that you now have to pay for everything that you were getting from the government. Now, how is that beneficial? How does that help poor people that if you make just a little bit too much, they take away all of your assistance because you're making $1 more? That to me, I don't understand. And I've worked minimum wage jobs my whole life. It's not a system that's set up to work properly. Last year, when my friend got fired from the call center that she was at, it took her 3 months to get a thin dime out of the unemployment insurance because one of the requirements to get unemployment was she had to get another job and show that she was making money in order to get unemployment benefits from the job that fired her. Like, how is this system even created other than to help people the least it possibly can? And I mean, the need is there. 3 weeks ago, after she lost her Medicaid for not working because she had had a surgery. And so they took it away, and you're like, wait a minute. You take away someone's medical insurance because they can't work because they had surgery? What kind of a ridiculous system is this? It's like, and afterwards, we sat in the food stamp office for the next 3 or 4 hours waiting to get called up to be told exactly what's on the website. We're going to reinstate your benefits based on your need, but there's also 10,000 other people who have the same need. That place never stopped buzzing the entire time we were there. It was the same crowd. It was just like the same person, a generic poor person just walking in. The people who worked there had almost no incentive to care. Half of the place was empty. It wasn't even fully staffed. There was places where they could put workers. There were empty desks. Almost every other desk in that office was empty. And you looked over half of the building that was just an open floor plan. And it was just wasted space. And there's the occasional worker over there, over here. But that place wasn't designed to be efficient. No corporation would function the way that the food stamp office works because they try to make it certain that they give you as little as humanly possible. And then when you do need it, well, it's inefficient. Most people gave up during the bug days to get unemployment benefits because they make it so complicated. These systems that are in place, if you go onto the unemployment site, it looks like it was the HTML, the web page itself was written in the 90s. There is no interest in helping the people that need the most help in this country. Talking point number 2. Discuss how low wages, deliberate underemployment, and hostile scheduling policies aren't accidental. They're by design. Companies know desperation keeps workers obedient and turnover high. The system thrives when people feel replaceable and afraid to speak up. That's it. You know, at the McJob, they have all of these. They claim to have all of these avenues for workers to speak up, and everyone can be heard. But no one fills out the surveys when they send them out, because even though they say they're anonymous, we all know what that means. There are certain people that do certain jobs that would say certain things that would instantly identify them at the McJob. So instead of speaking out, you just put your head down, because speaking out means that you personally have a problem. And the McJob doesn't care about your problems. There's one thing that I've learned over the years is that your financial problems, because you're being paid minimum wage, your mental health, your despair, your sadness, your panic attacks, which I have every morning at 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, every day about your financial situation. Well, they're your fault. The corporation takes no credit for inflicting this much harm on the American people. Because if 99% of people are struggling to pay for food, I mean, I just ate spaghetti, which was made by my friend yesterday, which is the first time I've eaten spaghetti made by another person, because I usually don't know how to make it, because I just don't have the patience to sit down and baby a pot of spaghetti, so I don't make it. But but that was like something different that I hadn't had in a long time. I probably haven't eaten spaghetti since my mom made it, just because I just don't have the time. In fact, one of you guys was mentioning how busy my schedule is in the comments today, and I really hadn't thought about it, but every minute of every day is filled with something. Like right now, it's 7:30 a.m. I've got to get ready, get to the gym, get my full body workout done, come back, eat something, and then I have an appointment to get something done. I think I have an appointment at the massage place because my muscles have been killing me. So I have that appointment at 10:30 to noon, and then I'm going to come back from that, make another video, try to make another couple videos, and then at 2 o'clock I'm going to be back at the gym doing cardio. And then once that cardio is done, I'm going to go to the grocery store to buy some snacks for work. Then I'm going to come home, make another video, and then after that I'm going to get 3 sheets to the wind. And then the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to be at the McJob tomorrow morning serving fries at the drive-thru like a good obedient prole, because that's what we proles do. We serve fries. We put the fries in the bag, little bro. We look at each other. You know, in fact, someone said this to me out of the blue the other day. It's like, and it wasn't a person that has the same outlook on life. I was talking to someone at the McJob the other day, and they said we've become a world of NPCs, just out of the blue, right? I don't know this person that well. They don't watch my channel. They just had come to the conclusion that we don't really have conversations with one another. We don't really speak to each other like we care anymore. Something has fundamentally changed. And I keep getting recommended these videos from this guy that sits out on his porch. I think his name's like Stephen Jacobs, really generic name. And yesterday I got recommended a video that said the title was America's Becoming a Third World Country. And I thought to myself, this guy's just barely getting it. And this video got 20,000 views, which was like incredible, that the algorithm isn't punishing him like it punishes me every day. Every day that you guys don't leave a comment or a like on the video, the algorithm is punishing me for your inactivity on the videos. Because I know it's hard to hit a like, leave a comment, but that's how YouTube decides whether or not it needs to bump you up or bump you down. So next time you look at the like button and you think about not hitting it, think about this. Every time you do that, you neglect the channel, the algorithm does the same thing. All right, let's get to our final talking point. Unpack how society shames the working poor, treating their labor as low skill and their needs as burdensome. Despite those jobs being essential, dignity isn't tied to the effort or hours worked. It's tied to status and class. The less they pay you, the less respect you're allowed to ask for. This is something that you guys all tell me all the time in the comment section, what it feels like to walk into a Walmart and look into the eyes of the employees. There is nothing more devastating than looking into the eyes of a person that's working and can't afford to eat while they work in a grocery store. Nearly all workers have it because if you walk into any given service industry job, the most likely thing is you're going to find a bunch of people that don't own cars unless their parents provide it to them. Because it's not an industry that wants you to grow. It's an industry that needs you to stay a fifth grade child. They need you to have the financial needs of a fifth grader. Because at that point, your parents are doing the heavy lifting for you. They're buying the food in the fridge. They're paying for your transportation. You're still in school, so you don't need the paycheck to support your own family. That's their ideal candidate. And to that, and what was I going to say? And to that end, that's why they treat you the way that they do. They put you in a costume, they give you a goofy hat, a name tag, and then treat you as if you don't even matter. Like there's just another fifth grader waiting to take your job. That's what the paycheck is all about. They don't want fully grown adults because those people would actually require a living wage. They need a country of workers with the mentality of a fifth grader and those needs. Because anyone that's out there right now will see that everything in your life costs more, but your paycheck stays the same. Unlivable, unworkable, and you keep getting sicker every day. That's why in all of my videos I say the phrase that pays. Every day is the worst day of my life. Not because I'm in physical pain, but the emotional trauma of trying to survive in this country in this day and age. America is not a first world country. And to say that it ever was for the working poor is a failure on your part to understand what that even means. A first world country takes care of its citizens. It doesn't take away their health care. It doesn't take away their food assistance. And it doesn't take away their housing. It finds ways to lift up people who are doing the best that they can. Because most people are not going to become an astronaut. For the longest time when I was growing up and people would ask me, what do you want to do when you grow up? I never thought it was going to be live in poverty in a rundown apartment, wondering what I'm going to eat next, or wondering what the next crap job I'm going to have, whether it's going to be a factory, a warehouse, a call center, washing cars, delivering food. No kid ever imagines having to do those jobs. We imagine growing up to have stuff. No child is ever going to be told you will own nothing and be happy after spending nearly your entire life up until that point. Up until you graduate from college, you have these crazy dreams in your head about getting to the 1%. But the 1% don't want you to be part of them. They want you to be part of the system that makes certain that they have all the money and you have nothing. And at the same time believing you live in a first world country while you live here. Do you think I look out at the people around me in this apartment complex and see first world? No. I see eviction signs. I see the homeless. I see poor people living in a studio apartment with 2 people, 2 dogs, and 2 cats. Does that sound first world to you? Because it doesn't to me. Let's get into our closing monologue. You're not broken. The economy is. And the longer we pretend that low wages equal low worth, the more people will bury under the myth of personal responsibility. Because in this system, you don't rise. You drown quietly while corporate profits float to the top, and all they offer you is a life raft with a hole in it, labeled, "At least you have a job." How often have you heard that? To be grateful for the scraps, to be grateful for a job that treats you like you're absolutely essential, disposable. You're the paper cup of this world. Imagine that. Imagine your existence as a paper cup. You're useful as long as you can hold water. But the second you stop holding water, you're crumbled up and thrown away.